Part 30. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 291. Han Tengu's recovery speed was astonishing, and he instantly transformed into two people in just a few breaths. Split. Ten's hero was shocked. Is it the same as the Land of Wind? Do you need to chop off two heads at the same time to really kill him? Seeing that Tokitoru Muichiro was already surrounded by these two ghosts, Ten's hero couldn't let Ten's hero think too much and hurriedly took a step forward. This is up to me. Tokitoru Muichiro didn't say anything, and swung his sword and rushed towards the new evil ghost ahead. Haven't been out for a long time. The evil ghost looked up at the sky, and let out a long breath as if he had just been liberated from prison. Then he pinched a maple leaf and fanned it gently, and Muichiro Tokaido was instantly enveloped by a hurricane and broke through. The ceiling flew out. The maple leaves turned into fans, and the evil ghost with horns on its head sighed. This little dwarf flew quite far. Are you angry? When are you going to resolve the battle? The evil ghost called Jiang has a ferocious face, and looks exactly like that ghost. He holds a Zen staff in his hand and looks at Ten's hero with wide eyes. It's so infuriating, you actually laughed out loud? The thought of being locked up with a guy like you makes me uncomfortable. Is it? Then separation is really a win-win situation. The other ghost smiled and stuck out a long tongue. There was a word engraved on it. The two evil ghosts chatted as if no one else was around, not paying attention to Ten's hero at all. Click. The angry Zen staff hit the ground hard. Knock, suddenly thunder burst out from the place of collision. What's this? As soon as Ten's hero took up his stance, he was overwhelmed by the surging energy. Suddenly, he found a man standing on the edge of the broken ceiling. Xianmei? Run. I told you not to call me by my name like a friend. Xianmei said viciously. The dark gun barrel in his hand was already aimed at one of the two evil ghosts. Bang! The double-barreled shotgun spurted out flames, and it directly hit the evil ghost's mind to pieces. Bang! Another one. Gun! The heads of the two evil spirits were shot off. But just like before, the bodies without heads did not dissipate. Instead, they began to grow slowly, taking on a new look. The smashed heads also began to condense. Actually condense the body out of thin air. On its back, two pairs of wings sprouted, and ghosts could fly. After several attacks, there were surprisingly 4 ghosts on the field. And each one was very powerful, comparable to the upper string. Ten's hero suddenly felt a lightness in his body, and he was actually floating. There was a stinging pain in his thigh. He quickly looked back and saw that the bird-like evil spirit had pierced his thigh with its claws at some point. Fly away at extremely fast speed. Miduze, leave me alone, go and save Xianmei. Ten's hero commanded quickly because he saw that Xianmei's body had been pierced. Do you still have time to care about others? What a big heart. The evil spirit that was dragging Ten's hero upward lowered his head and looked at Ten's hero. At this time, Ten's hero had already reacted and was holding the Nichiren sword tightly with both hands. Kagura, the god of fire. The blade of the sword condensed flames, and it was about to happen. Cut it down. Suddenly the evil ghost opened its mouth at Ten's hero, and a ring of sound waves burst out. Buzz, a powerful sound wave immediately shook Ten's hero to his core, and the flames on the Nichiren sword also dissipated. No, if you lose consciousness, it's really over. Ten's hero bit the tip of his tongue to wake his brain up again. The Nichiren sword bloomed with flames again, and cut off the evil spirit's claws with one blow. Tenshiro's figure fell involuntarily. Hold on, if you fall from this height you will fall to your death. Speaking loudly, Ten's hero stayed awake, stretched out his palms to grab the branches along the way, and slowed down the speed of his fall. Repeatedly, Tan's hero still fell heavily to the ground. However, this is the best result. After struggling, standing up, Tan's hero dragged his body and walked slowly towards the house just now. This taste. Tanshiro's nose twitched, and he suddenly smelled a familiar smell. It's Mr. Ye. Mr. Ye is here. Mitozi and Su and me are safe. Overjoyed, Tanshiro's speed was a little faster. Hurry over and tell Mr. Ye the key information. In the broken house, Fang Ye stood up straight with the sun blade in hand, protecting Mitozi behind him. Why so many? Does it feel like it's going to take some time? At this moment, the winged ghost has also returned. Among the 4 evil ghosts, one is suppressing Xianmi, and the remaining 3 face Fang Ye together. Looking at the red-hot sun blade in Fang Ye's hand, the 3 of them were stunned. The red-hot knife is Hideo. Could it be that he was the swordsman who almost cut off Lord Muhan's head? Still not dead after 300 years. Get rid of him quickly. Lord Wuhan will definitely reward us. The 3 people reacted quickly and attacked Fang Ye together. More or less. Fang Ye didn't care about the numerical advantage of the opponent. Fang Ye's attack came out almost as soon as the opponent launched it. Boom. The blade wrapped in flames instantly slashed on one of the ghosts. Suddenly, the ghost was hit by the raging fire. Burning. The wings were chopped off, and the body was gradually eaten away. What happened? Why can't this fire be extinguished? Also, why can't I heal on my own? The ghost with wings began to panic, picked up the wings on the ground and tried to push them back. But Fang Ye's flames continued to eat away at her body. Find a way to extinguish the fire, the growth rate is only offset by the burning flames. The ghost holding the Zen staff roared and pointed a section full of rings at Fang Ye. You guys really make me angry. GG was so angry that his veins popped out, and his Zen staff made a harsh creaking sound. Go to hell. The Zen staff collided violently, and the huge energy surged out again. Is this just a minor skill? Fang Ye didn't dodge or dodge, holding up the sun blade in his hand. Then you can go die. Fang Ye said softly, and swung down violently. The sword flashed past, and Ji angrily looked at his cancelled attack in shock. This was his full blow. You bastard, hurry up and blow him away. You don't need to tell me, I'm planning on doing just that. The evil ghost with a smile on his face got into the maple leaf fan in his hand, and waved it hard at Fang Ye. Whoops, a terrifying hurricane formed in an instant, and the whole house was blown to pieces in an instant. Ha 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 ha, you brat, you must have flown thousands of miles away. Eli Gui put his palms on his eyebrows pretending to be relaxed and looked into the distance. Suddenly, his shoulders felt cold. Followed by a blazing temperature, which instantly scorched his skin. Behind you. Eli Gui reacted instantly and slapped hard behind him. A serious punch. Fang Ye punched out with his left fist, which completely offset the hurricane. The remaining punch force directly penetrated Eli Gui's body. The right hand exerted force at the same time, and it was full of shock. His head was also chopped off. Are you the only one left? Tan's hero turned to look at Ji Ang. Ji Ang was so angry that he stabbed the Zen staff forward. Click. The Zen staff was grabbed by Fang Ye, and with a slight exertion, it instantly became curved. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 292. Pull out the Nichiren sword and stab it hard. Ji Ang's throat was pierced, and with Fang Ye's movements, his head fell off. A little weak. Fang Ye sighed, and fired a few flames at random, continuing to suppress their growing bodies. Damn it, why can't my head grow back? More than just offsetting, this guy's flames even grow faster than me. Think of a way. Cannot. Calm down, it's so ugly. Just find a way to extinguish the flames. The heads of the three evil ghosts rolling on the ground were arguing with each other. Fang Ye crushed the head that was making the most noise with his foot and turned his attention to Xianmi, whose body was pierced. Ah! Has the little guy solved it? The strength is pretty good. Hearing Fang Ye's voice, Xianmi turned his head sharply. In the battle just now, his body had undergone earth-shaking changes. His eyes had become as dark as ghosts, and Yan Shui continued to ooze from the corners of his mouth. The ghosts on his body, the energy is clearly visible, and it doesn't look like a human being at all. You guy. As if he was dissatisfied with Fang Ye's evaluation of him, Xianmi appeared in front of him in an instant. What do you mean? Don't think that you are great just because you have some strength. I want to become a pillar. I want to defeat the one who goes up the string. Don't think that defeating Shang Xianlu is a big deal. I will definitely kill this Shang Xian Si. I will become a pillar. Xianmi yelled hysterically, water left from the corner of his mouth and dripped to the ground. Eh? Has it been resolved? Tan's hero rushed over belatedly and saw that several ghosts had been decapitated. Just as he was about to check how injured everyone was, he saw Xianmi yelling at Fang Ye. Suanmi, don't do this. Tan's hero ran over quickly and held Suanmi's hand tightly. This is Mr. Ye, our teammate. Just now you said you wanted to become a pillar? I'm very optimistic about you. I believe Mr. Ye will also support you. Tan's hero said with a smile. He stretched out his hand to avoid hitting the smiling man. Seeing Tanshiro's enthusiastic look, Suanmi suddenly lost his composure. Then, that's good, you guys prepare to call me Master Zhu. As he said that, Xianmi shot the evil ghost's head in his hand and smashed it into pieces. Why isn't this guy dead? Is your vitality so tenacious? At the same time, Tan's hero also discovered that these ghosts had their heads chopped off, but their bodies had not dissipated. Are there still ghosts? Letting go of his mind, Tan's hero captured every scent in the air. Suddenly, Tan's hero opened his eyes. There's a fifth ghost, I smell him. Tan's hero whispered and continued to explore with great concentration. The hurricane of Lagi filled the place with the sulfur smell of hot springs, which greatly covered up the smell of ghosts. Suddenly, Tan's hero smelled the smell of the ghost again. The difference was that this time the smell seems to be condensed into a thread, continuous. It is guiding Tan's hero to the location of the ghost. Just to the northeast, in the low-lying area, the fifth ghost is there. Tan's hero yelled and told everyone the information. The moment they got the news, the two of them moved instantly. Suanmi roared and rushed out, while Fang Yi was much calmer. He opened his Byakugan instantly, and Fang Ye's vision suddenly broadened a lot. At the same time, invisible chi appeared in Fang Ye's vision. Found it? The little devil was unable to hide under Fang Ye's white eyes, and his position was revealed almost instantly. Looking at the ball of energy that was as big as a mouse, Fang Ye was extremely fast. The sun blade in his hand, it crossed over and cleared all the obstacles almost instantly. The surrounding flowers and plants were cut off by their roots, and the traces of Hanton dog also appeared in the sight of the two. Found. After a while, the dog turned around and ran away, his small body bursting out with unparalleled speed. Want to run? Fang Ye extended his indifference and slashed with the sword. Clang! The sun blade struck the half-tengu's neck, and sparks flew out. The body was knocked away, and Fang Ye's sun blade also cut out a huge hole. Gap. So hard. How can a neck that is only 1 finger thick be so hard? Fang Ye was surprised, but still did not give up the pursuit of Bantengu. Suanmi also rushed over, babbling and shouting, and the double-barreled shotgun spurted out flames, hitting Bantengu in the middle. Bantengu's clothes were beaten to tatters. But it still didn't do any substantial harm. WTF? Xianmi was also shocked. His double-barreled shotgun can penetrate the bodies of most ghosts, but it can't have any effect on Han Tengu. Chase him quickly, don't let him get away. Xianmi roared, his speed has reached the limit. He took Han Tengu in his hand. Xianmi's Nichiren sword slashed at it again. Ah! The Hantan dog, which was only the size of a mouse, actually burst out with a deafening roar. Xianmi's ears bled, and he couldn't hear any sound for a moment. As expected, the Nichiren blade broke again. Watch your back. Suddenly, a voice came, and Xianmi's body condensed. He felt the ghost energy that he had never experienced before, almost as strong as solidification. The figure of the sneak attack ghost had already appeared before Xianmi stretched out his hand, and the claws in his hands were filled with hatred. Aim at Xianmi's body. Drink. With his waist bent, Fang Ye aimed at the figure not far away and punched suddenly. Boom. The terrifying fist wind swept over instantly. The brand new ghost was instantly punched out with a big hole, and Xianmi nearby also unable to stand still, he was blown away by the wind of the fist. Bang! A drum sound came from the ghost, and the next second, the ground cracked, and a twisted tree grew out of it. Moreover, this tree seemed to have spirituality. It kept twisting upwards on the way out, and the port grew like a dragon head. The forest broke open directly, and the two dragon heads staggered and ascended to the sky. There was even a dragon roar coming from the mouth, which was very realistic. What? This ability, is it different from the previous emotions? Ten's hero dragged his broken body and looked not far away. He looked around, but he couldn't find the burning bodies of those evil ghosts. No, isn't it the sixth one? The auras of the four ghosts of joy, anger, sorrow, and joy have all disappeared. Xianmi gnawed a piece from the big tree. While gaining new ghost abilities, he also gained a moment of memory. It turned out that when the two of them were besieging the little ghost together, the angry ghost dragged his body and stretched out his hands to swallow the two ghosts around him. Entered the body. Then there was Aiju, who seemed to resist, but was directly absorbed by the anger. It became what it is now. It is not so much the sixth ghost, but a combination of four ghosts. At this moment, the new ghost of hatred spoke. It's really unpleasant, bullying, you guys, brood. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 293. Are we evil? Ten's hero rushed over, full of doubts about the words of the hateful ghost. What are you saying? The hateful ghost's face was full of anger and he said. You are extremely evil, you are really evil beasts. You actually attack those little devils you can put in the palm of your hand and bully the weak. You are the most vicious and vicious people, and you are the real devils. Open, are you kidding me? Tenshiro's expression turned from shock to anger. Your breath alone has already eaten hundreds of people, right? You are still talking like a victim. You are the real evil ghosts. What have you done? Don't you know it yourself? What was done to those hundreds of innocent people? Isn't it clear? No need to pay a price, no need to pay with your life. You have a twisted nature, and I will never let you off lightly. Your neck will be cut off by me. Then come and try it, Hate said, knocking on the wooden drum with words engraved on it behind him. Bang! There was a dull sound, and the winding wooden dragon seemed to have received instructions and instantly attacked in the direction of several people. A sound came from the mouth the dragon roared, seeming to swallow several people in one bite. Ten's hero was impatient, and the Nichiren sword in his hand was instantly dyed with flames. Kagura, the god of fire, circle dance. A beautiful arc was cut out, and the wooden dragon was instantly hit with a big blow. The hole. The flames continued to burn on it, making it impossible to recover from the injury. But the wooden dragon did not stop because of this, and hit Ten's hero directly. Ten's hero flew out, and all the bones in his body seemed to be shattered by this blow. Ten's hero. A female voice came, and Ten's hero was held firmly in his arms. Miss Ganluyi. Ten's hero instantly recognized the person and shouted in surprise. Fortunately, the place where I perform my mission is very close to here. I just killed the ghost in the village. Now it's up to me to deal with this ghost. Kenroji Mitsurai said softly, placing Tenshiro's body in Mituza's arms. At the same time, Kenroji pulled out the sword from her waist. Her Nichiren sword was forged by the village chief of the sword forging village. It was very special. Light and thin. In fact, the blade can be as winding as silk, and can perform all kinds of incredible attacks. Looking at the wooden dragon charging again, Kenroji Mitsurai gently swung the knife, and split the wooden dragon into 4 pieces in one go. The wooden dragon was destroyed, and the hatred the ghost also noticed it. His hands kept hitting the wooden drum behind him, and the ground began to shake again. Vampire magic, endless karma tree. In an instant, more than a dozen wooden dragons appeared on the field, roaring and aiming at a few people, about to launch an attack. The other wooden dragon from before had been completely smashed by Fang Ye. The broken Sun Lun sword was full of its agap, but the flames are not indifferent. It even has a restraining effect on the wooden dragon. It instantly turned it into charcoal. Now that the wooden dragon emerged, everyone realized at the same time that the wood could not be chopped completely. Only after solving the problem and releasing the blood only those who practice magic have hope. Miss Kenroji, I'll deal with these pieces of wood, and I'll leave it to you to cut the necks. Fang Ye shouted loudly and went straight to meet the huge wooden dragon. He lowered his waist and braced his horse, preparing a punch. Boom! The wind of the fist made the flames stronger. It directly burned all the wooden dragons. At the same time, Fang Ye's fist the force directly penetrated the tree, sawdust flew, and opened a path for Ganluyi melee. Ganluyi moved very quickly, and instantly rushed in through the opening created by Fang Ye, and the winding long knife instantly wrapped around the neck of the abomination. Just cut off the head and all problems will be solved. Miri Kenroji said, applying force with her hands at the same time. The hard neck was easily cut open by the slender blade, and the head was chopped off. Phew, it's finally solved, Mr. Ye really made a good assist. Ganlu Temple mealy said, blinking at Fang Ye behind him. Eh? What are you guys saying? Run. That ghost is not the real person. Fang Ye roared and rushed over. Ganlu Temple mealy turned his head, just in time to meet the sound wave bursting out from the mouth of the hateful ghost. It's over. Misjudgment. Muttered, Ganluyi mealy knew that she couldn't escape, so she quickly stretched out her hands to block her. Buzz. The terrifying sound instantly surrounded Kenroji Michiri and seeped in through the gaps. Stop screaming here. Just when Kenluyi mealy was about to be unable to hold on any longer, Fang Ye appeared. With one punch, he smashed the roaring head of the hateful ghost into pieces. The brains were smeared all over the ground. He held Ganluyi mealy in his arms. In his arms, Fang Ye retreated with her figure. Senior Ganlu Temple, are you not injured? Fang Ye looked at Ganlu Temple. She tensed her muscles in response to the attack and did not receive much damage. It doesn't matter, go find the main body quickly, it seems they can't move anymore. Since we are about the same age, there is no need to call us senior. Before he finished speaking, Fang Ye's figure rushed out quickly. Come on, Junior. Fang Ye looked at the slowly rising Sunday. The kid was getting faster and faster. Don't even think about running. Fang Ye exploded with speed and caught up with the kid in an instant. He slashed his neck with another knife, and the blade broke as expected. If this is the case, then I will take you to bask in the sun. The speed was faster, Fang Ye stopped directly in front of the kid. Bully the weak, you will only bully the weak. He said that he wanted to uphold justice, but now he is so cruel to me, the bullshit demon slayer squad. The kid's body expanded rapidly, and his two big hands grabbed Fang Ye. Go to hell. The kid used his big hands hard, trying to crush Fang Ye directly. Contradictory, you be damned. Fang Ye said softly, and faced the kid's big hand on his body with both hands. Half Tiango's big hand was instantly torn to pieces, and was given a blazing flame by Fang Ye, which could not be regenerated. Half Tiango couldn't regenerate it. Escape, but how can he get over Fang Ye so quickly? Almost instantly, I was caught up again. Fang Ye threw out a heavy punch and hit Ban Tiango directly on the back of the head. The brain is broken. Not the body. Fang Ye looked at the tongue on the ground, which had the word hate engraved on it. White eyes. Fang Ye's eyes were once again covered with a layer of white film, and instantly penetrated the body of the dog for a long time. Originally hidden in the heart? What a coward! Without any hesitation, Fang Ye struck again. In Fang Ye's eyes, Bantian dog's speed was like a snail. Fang Ye showed no mercy, and his big hand directly penetrated Bantian dog's chest. With a strong pull, a bloody heart it was pulled out. The bloody scene immediately shocked the knife-forging people who came to watch. Fang Ye squeezed his big hand, and his heart exploded in his hand. Only a bloody figure the size of a mouse was left. Half Tian dog. This time it was a bloody figure. Bantengu's body. Fang Ye's movements did not stop at all, and he slapped it hard with his left hand. The plasma was beaten out, and Bantengu was beaten directly into meat paste. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 294. The little ghost turned into a ball of flesh and was too dead to die anymore. As if celebrating everyone's victory, the sun slowly rose from the east, illuminating the sleepless place. Perhaps because of the glare of his eyes, or because he was hit in a vital part, the ghost's remains quickly dissipated. Mituza. The warm sunshine shone on Ten's hero, causing him to panic. He dragged his body and ran over quickly. Mituza, you must find a place to hide from the sun, don't be exposed. Ten's hero roared, but his speed became slower and slower. This place has been destroyed and empty. How can there be any place to block the sun? Finally, Ten's hero was exhausted and fell to the ground. Lying on the ground, Ten's hero leave tears of dissatisfaction. Mituza, it was me who hurt you, sorry. Listening to Tenshiro's voice, Tokitoru Muichiro and Kenroji Mitsurai couldn't help but feel sad. Mituza was the only ghost they had ever seen who could coexist with humans. He was a kind ghost, but now he died in such an unclear manner. It was really unacceptable. Ten's hero, don't be sad, such a bright sunshine, maybe Mituza. Muichiro Tokitoru was about to speak but stopped. Your Excellency Zayaman, Your Excellency Zayaman. Zayatetsu ran over and pushed Ten's hero who was lying on the ground and twitching. Zayouti. Ten's hero weakly saw the person coming, but could not say anything. Lord Kamatu, your sister, it seems to have escaped the restraint of sunlight. Xiaotetsu said, reaching out and pointing. Ten's hero looked in the direction pointed by Zayatetsu. He only saw a figure walking slowly this way. Ten's hero rubbed his eyes, and it turned out to be Mituza. Morning, morning, good morning, brother. Mituza's voice was very weak, but Ten's hero was even weaker. He hugged Mituza and fell down. Kamado-kun is fine. He must have reached his limit in the previous battle. Let him rest for a while and he should be fine. Everyone let out a long sigh of relief. Their eyes looking at Mituza were also full of luck. The first ghost who can conquer the sun is so rare. At the same time, in a rich man's home. In the study room, a young man turned over the books in a mess, but he didn't care, because just now, he got a chance to give up all the hard work he had done so far. Well done, Bantengu, I finally found it. The first ghost that can overcome the sun was born like this. Haftiengu, you died meaningfully. The little boy covered his face, and veins popped out all over his face with excitement. Finally found the ghost girl. Muzin repeatedly checked the information he saw through Hantengu's sight. The ghost named Mituzi actually overcomes the nightmare of sunlight, which can make ghosts die instantly. As long as I fuse that ghost girl into my body, I can also obtain her factors and break the sun. There will no longer be a threat to me in this world. Achieve true perfection, achieve true eternity. Wuxian has lost his previous composure at this moment, with a maniacal smile on his face. Ah! What's wrong, son? What a mess! Hearing the sound in the room, a kind woman came in with her servant. Seeing the books on the floor, the woman not only didn't blame her, but looked doting on her face. Xiaoyu, go clean up, son, it's almost time to eat. The woman said, and stepped forward to touch her son's head. Bang! Before she even took 2 steps forward, the woman's head exploded out of thin air. Red and white things exploded all over the ground, exuding a strong smell of death. Breath. Husband, madam. What's wrong with you, what's wrong with your head? Plop. The servant collapsed to the ground, trembling all over as he looked at the dead woman who could no longer die. Finally I can leave here. Wuxian returned to his original appearance and changed in front of the servant's eyes. This disgusting home really makes people feel uncomfortable. As long as I swallow that ghost girl, I can overcome this centuries-old curse, ha 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 ha. Wuxian made no secret, and his voice made the whole house start to tremble. The servant who collapsed on the ground also realized at this time that the man in front of him was murderer. Murderer, master, my wife was killed. Come on, there's a murderer here. The servant yelled in panic and crawled out of the house. It's so noisy. Roning, Wu Quan raised his hand, and half of the servant's body instantly turned into blood, splattering all over the floor. Don't worry, the people in this house will be buried with you soon. At Yabayashiki residence, everyone has received the news of the destruction of Yuan Gajin no Shi and Yogen no Wu. As Hashira who single-handedly killed Wu Yahu in Shangxian, Tokido Muchiro was called and held a Hashira meeting on his own. In the last battle, my body was poisoned and my whole body was paralyzed. I was unable to carry out effective attacks. Even with breathing techniques, toxins quickly spread throughout the body. Later, the little iron boy who was trying to rescue me was almost killed. The unprecedented anger made me forget the pain and at the same time retrieve the lost memory. But at that time, I could no longer keep calm. Thinking about it now, my heartbeat had exceeded 200 and my body temperature had reached over 39 degrees. The butterfly ninja heard what Tokaido Muchiro said and asked curiously. That kind of state is already on the verge of death. Can I really still exercise? Tokaido Muchiro nodded. Yeah, so I think that's the only minimum that would turn on markings. Whether you are dead or alive may be able to detect whether you are qualified to turn on markings. At this time, Yabayashiki's wife Amane asked curiously. The heart rate can reach 200 during strenuous exercise, but why does the body temperature exceed 39 degrees? Tokaido Muchiro replied obediently. It's like this. I had received treatment from Miss Butterfly Ninja before, I had a fever, and the thermometer measured it at 39 degrees, which was the same physical condition as when the stripes were turned on. Immortal Kawasania Tisk, is it that simple? Yiyong Fugong, I feel that simplicity is as simple as your mind, which is really enviable. Immortal Sakawasania, what did you say, kill you? Fugong Yiyong, nothing. Butterfly Ninja came out in time to smooth things over. If this is the case, discovering the markings is the first priority for Hashira. Correct. Butterfly Ninja suddenly thought of something and continued. Maybe I've also discovered a boy who can turn on stripes. He's not a pillar yet. Not a pillar? How can it be? The simple-minded immortal Kawasania expressed disbelief. Amina, is it true? Butterfly Ninja smiled slightly. According to my analysis, the boy in the Demon Slayer squad may also have such potential. In this case, Mr. Purgatory should be able to testify. Everyone looked at Purgatory Xingjulan, who had returned from a mission. Purgatory Xingjulan looked ahead and said loudly. Mr. Ye indeed has such strength. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 295. Later, Fang Ye was invited to join the Zuhi meeting. Boy, tell me how you turned on the markings. Fengju Immortal Kawashimai stared at Fang Ye's eyes and asked loudly. Mr. Ye, according to what Mr. Purgatory said, your state when fighting the Shangxian Sanyi nest was very close to the pattern we are pursuing. Do you have any tips? They are all powerful people. The Butterfly Ninja realized that Fang Ye was probably disgusted by the words of Immortal Kawasania, so he added again. The gentle tone really made Fang Ye feel a lot better. At this time, Yubayashiki, his wife Tianyan, walked up to the crowd. My lord, Princess Teruya, is in ill health. I am afraid that it will be difficult to appear in front of everyone from now on. Please allow me to express my sincere apology to everyone on behalf of my lord. After saying that, Tianyan knelt on the ground and fell deeply. Everyone stopped talking immediately, their eyes serious. Yanzu screamed sadly and Yu Xingming clasped his hands together, leaving 2 lines of clear tears in his eyes. I understand. I hope that my lord can try his best to extend his life, and Mrs. Tianyan should also cheer up as much as possible. Thank you, Tianyan thanks everyone. Then, the formal content of the meeting began. Amina sat in front of everyone. Although he did not have the leadership ability of Yubayashiki, he was still good. Everyone should know that in the last battle, the first demon that can resist sunlight according to the records of the Demon Slayer Corps appeared. If nothing else goes wrong, the Demon Slayer will definitely launch a general attack on us for the purpose, and the final large-scale war is about to begin. Breakout. According to the report, during the battle with Kamiguru, Mr. Tokitoru Muichiro and Miss Kenroji Mitsurai had special markings on their bodies. In addition, according to Mr. Purgatory's report, Mr. Ye seemed to have also entered the state. I have heard Mr. Tokitoru Muichiro's speech just now. Can Mr. Kenroji share the state of the pattern when it is turned on? Then, everyone looked at Ganlu Temple Mealy curiously. Nodding vigorously, Ganluyi Mealy stood in front of everyone's sight. At that time, there was just a bang, and then my whole body felt very hot, and then there was a whining in my ears. I felt that my hearing was much better, and my heart was pounding, and the gurgling came, and soon it was gone. Coming. Everyone was stunned when they heard Ganluyi Mitsurai's introduction. This is, where did the master of abstraction come from? Plop. Kenroji Mitsurai realized that what she said was very embarrassing, and she fell down. Sorry, I really want to open a hole in the ground and crawl in. Where is Mr. Ye? Tianyan also had no hope for Ganlu Temple, and turned to look at Fang Ye. Fang Ye thought deeply for a while, and realized that everyone might have regarded his state of freedom as a pattern activation. If I speak from experience, I felt that my energy had sunk at that time, and all movements slowed down in my eyes. However, it seemed to be different from everyone else's markings. I can't tell the specific difference. Good guy, another one who seems to have said it but didn't say it. After the meeting, the Demon Slayer Corps established special guidance for the team members. In anticipation of the upcoming war, everyone must be in top condition. The pillars guided the Demon Slayer team members in stages, and even Tianyan, who had retreated, joined in the guidance. Ten's hero and others also joined in the coaching, and their good physical strength made them stand out in the training. As for Fang Ye, everyone Zhu felt that Fang Ye had met Zhu's requirements, but he just needed time to complete tasks to improve the rating of the Demon Slayer team. Their training was of no use to Fang Ye except a waste of time. So Fang Ye also started to perform his own tasks. One day, Yubayashiki Amano personally summoned Fang Ye. "Lord Ye, please don't complain about wasting your time. My lord has specifically asked me to entrust you with an important task." "Of course not, please tell me." Fang Ye naturally didn't say much. He sat in front of Tianyan and listened carefully. Tianyan nodded and took out a letter from his arms. "A long time ago, the lord noticed a ghost woman. Miss Zuyo, who also regarded Wuhan as her mortal enemy, had been fighting against Wuhan for thousands of years. Now that the war is approaching and time is running out, the Lord wants to invite Miss Tama Shii to the Demon Slayer headquarters to discuss the matter of killing without mercy." Fang Ye was slightly startled, and then said softly, "Invite the ghost, are you coming to the Demon Slayer headquarters?" If Mr. Ye thinks there is pressure, then Tianyan is talking too much. With that said, Tianyan saluted again and stood up to leave. Fang Ye waved his hand gently and said to Tianyan, "It's okay, just leave this task to me. I'm the only one who still has time right now." As Fang Ye said, the entire Demon Slayer team is now in a very alert state, and even the pillars are too busy to move away at the moment. Taking the letter from Tianyan, Fang Ye put it in his arms. "Just wait for my good news." After saying that, Fang Ye turned around and walked out of the Demon Slayer headquarters. Under the leadership of Nayashiki, Fang Ye started to speed up on the road. It didn't take long for Fang Ye to arrive at the mansion where Miss Zushi lived. It's really hidden. If it weren't for the rook, it would be difficult to find it even if I knew it existed. Fang Ye sighed softly, and with a slight push of his feet, he climbed into the wall. The window on the second floor reflected the figure of the woman under the light, and Fang Ye jumped over gently. At the same time, Miss Zushi was sitting in front of the table. He was doing research on the blood samples of 12 demons and Yaduza sent by Ten's hero. It's incredible that Medusa's blood has undergone so many changes in a short period of time. If the judgment is correct, Medusa is likely to become the first ghost in thousands of years who is not afraid of the sun. And this, Miss Zushi said, looking at the newly developed serum aside. This is the first generation developed from the blood samples of 12 ghost moons. If nothing goes wrong, it will be the most promising serum that can allow ghosts to return to humans. However, this is only the first generation, and there is no guarantee of what side effects it will have. It's better to wait until it's confirmed to be safe before sending it to Ten's hero. As he spoke, Miss Zushi took a deep breath and opened the window. Although she was a ghost, she was a little tired from maintaining a high level of concentration for a long time. At this time, he suddenly saw a figure sitting on the window. "Hello, Miss Zushi." The visitor waved gently. "Good evening, but it's not safe to leave the window open, but the moonlight tonight is really nice. I haven't seen such a beautiful moon for a long time." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 296. The moonlight shone lightly, covering Fang Ye's body like a strip of silk. At this moment he is sitting on the window, leisurely and contented. "You, who are you?" Ms. Zushi obviously didn't expect someone to come suddenly, and she stood up nervously subconsciously. "I am Fang Ye, a member of the Yunyun Demon Slayer Squad." "Demon Slayer Squad?" Hearing Fang Ye's identity, Zhu Shi immediately became alert. His right hand turned into a ghost claw and climbed up his left arm, trying to activate the blood ghost technique. Don't be nervous, Miss Zushi. If I am in danger to you, I will not appear in front of you in this way. Fang Ye said, glancing at Zhu Shi, who was about to scratch his arm to release the vampire technique. This move made Miss Zhu Shi realize that the man in front of her seemed to understand her very well, which made her feel a little relieved. Let me introduce myself again. I am a member of the Uyashiki Demon Slayer team. You can think of me as the messenger of Uyashiki. As he said that, Fang Ye stretched out his palm. Miss Zhu Shi hesitated for a moment, then shook hands with him. How did you find this place? Tamayo asked softly. In her opinion, her methods are still very hidden. Except for Ten's hero, almost no one from the Demon Slayer team has entered here. The method of hiding it is indeed very clever. Even our protagonist did not find this place until he could no longer move. However, you should know Yabayashiki's connections. Find out the original owner of this room, and then grasp it during the day. It is not difficult for Yashiro to spread the vision. Fang Ye said softly, and the shock on Miss Zhu Shi's face could no longer be increased. The former is okay, after all, the original owner of this house is still there, but it is not easy to grasp the vision of Yu Shilang's Fu Seal. How much sense of perception is required to detect the restrained aura of cats and dogs, or even flowers and trees. But don't worry, we are not doing this against you, and I will not harm you. Smiling slightly, I don't know whether Fang Ye's words are acceptable. However, Miss Zushi is still wary of Fang Ye. Hey, why are you here? Seeing Miss Zushi's nervous look, Fang Ye shook his head and smiled. It seems like you still don't believe me, but it's natural that the demons and the demon slayers have been at odds for so many years. Sure enough, it's Tenshiro's level of approachability that can win your trust. Fang Ye's words left Miss Zushi and Monk Zhongyi are confused. What kind of medicine is sold in the Sanyashiki gourd? The Demon Slayer squad has been chasing ghosts for so many years, and now they send someone to ask for cooperation? Where is Yashiro? Miss Zushi still asked, and for the time being she did not show any intention of being attracted by the cooperation mentioned by Fang Ye. You don't have to worry about this, just listen. After saying that, Fang Ye pointed to the roof of the building. There was the attic above. Miss Zushi listened carefully and heard bursts of footsteps coming from above. Yashiro is safe now, and it is normal for him not to notice my presence. Fang Ye turned over and entered the room, standing respectfully in front of Miss Zushi. Then I will formally explain my purpose of coming. Presumably through research, Miss Tama Shii also discovered the changes that have taken place in Medusa. This change is good news for Ten's hero, and even more so for Oniashi Muzan. The good news is that there is such a ghost that can resist sunlight. Ghost Dance Chiwakai will definitely want to devour Medusa without leaving any room. This is beyond doubt. As someone who also wants Ghost Dance Chiwakai to die, you probably don't want to see it either. Let this happen. Fang Ye paused and continued. The Demon Slayer squad also has members who are good at studying ghost bodies, and they also have a lot of experience. I believe your research can have a great impact, or even a decisive role, in the battle against Ghost Mai Shiwu. It is estimated that it will not take long, and Ghost Mai Shiwu, the battle with us will break out in an all-round way, and victory or defeat will depend on this, so. Fang Ye took a deep breath and looked seriously at Miss Zushi's beautiful eyes. Can you be invited to assist the Demon Slayer squad in dealing with the Demon Maiden? Please come with me to Yabayashiki's mansion. Fang Ye's calm words made Miss Zushi's heart surge with shock. A total war is about to break out? Let Zushi, who is a ghost, go to the headquarters of the Demon Slayer Corps. After pondering for a long time, Miss Zushi seemed to have made a big decision. Yes, but please wait until I finish this phase of the experiment. To be honest, I have developed a drug that can turn ghosts back into humans, but it will take some time to perfect. Ken. Fanya nodded lightly and acquiesced to Miss Zuyo's request. At the same time, he asked the man in Utsuyashiki to pass the news back. Under the leadership of Yashiro, Fanya briefly lived in her mansion. At the same time, Fanya briefly lived in her mansion. Everyone in the Demon Slayer squad has begun to accept the guidance of the pillar level. The coordination of the waist and legs is very good, and the switching of muscle tightness is also very smooth. Ten's hero is very good. Tokaido Muichiro looked at Ten's hero with a smile, seeming to be happy for him. You can go to the next pillar to receive guidance. Is it ready? Ten's hero was flattered and confirmed repeatedly. Yes, Ten's hero is working very hard and is much better than the last time we met. Expressing their gratitude, everyone also noticed that Zayazu, who had always been indifferent, was so gentle. They leaned over and asked stammeringly. Lord Zayazu, then can we also go to the next pillar? What are you talking about? Tokaido Muichiro's face became extremely cold, and he said with disgust. After practicing your sword swing, go chop the pile until it is broken. A few people were stunned for a moment. The gap is too big. After thanking him again, Ten's hero came to the next place where the guide was. Long time no see, Tenshiro-kun. Lianzu, Genluyi Meili greeted eagerly. Welcome to my home. Haven't seen you for a long time. Miss Genluyi looks very energetic and is recovering well. Tenshiro-kun is not bad either, he is more energetic than before. Ten's hero sniffed and suddenly smelled the fragrance of flowers. Does Miss Kenroji keep bees? I seem to smell honey, it smells so good. Yes, did you smell it? Kenroji Mitsurai took Tenshiro's hand without noticing anything and led him into the house. Spreading honey on bread is delicious, plus butter and cheese, it is simply delicious. The waffles I made just happened to be out of the oven, let's try them together. Although I don't know what Kenroji Mitsurai is talking about, it sounds delicious as soon as I hear it. Ten's hero is also a foodie, so naturally he will not refuse. In this way, in the background of everyone's hard training, the two of them happily they ate the waffles. Everyone, the gap is too big. We endure hardship and he enjoys sweetness. Is there anything more double standard than this? Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 297. After many days, Miss Zushi's research on the serum has reached the final stage. Although Fanya does not only exercise with the old formula here every day, he also patrols outside. But Yashiro seems to have always been very hostile to him. But it's just that it's not shown. On the Demon Slayer side, Ten's hero also came to the final stage of pillar level guidance. This waterfall looks so scary, I always feel like my neck will be broken in an instant. Zhang couldn't help complaining. And the location of this home. Is it convenient to fight bears when living in the deep mountains? The two of them complained and walked forward. Welcome to our training. Under the waterfall, Wei Minjiao Xingming was carrying a few logs as thick as one person and riding a horse. The next step is to practice. At the beginning, you need to hold on for a quarter of an hour under the waterfall. It took Ten's hero about 2 days to get used to the impact of the waterfall. Although once you relax, your neck will be broken by the waterfall. The next step is to resist the wood, which is not stressful for Ten's hero, whose physical fitness has improved. The next step was to push the huge rock. Ten's hero tried his best to push the rock, but he couldn't make the rock move forward even a little bit. Phew, this stone is really heavy. Is it filled with iron? Ten's hero collapsed to the ground, not even having the strength to wipe away his sweat. Oh! Ten's hero. Have the markings on your forehead become a little darker? A cockcombed head appeared in Tenshiro's sight. Ah, it's Xianmei. Ten's hero sat up holding the stone and smiled apologetically at Genmai. Sorry, this is all I can do. It doesn't matter. Suanya waved his hand and sat next to Ten's hero. By the way, what happened to your markings? Are they a little darker? Suanya asked again, this time attracting Tenshiro's attention. Lifting his sore arm, Ten's hero touched the burned area. In addition to feeling rough to the touch, it was indeed a little hot. It would be great if it could be deepened. Ten's hero is very happy. If the color of the markings deepens, it means that the training during this period has not been in vain. Are you doing rock training? Suanya noticed the boulder behind Ten's hero. I'm doing it too. Ten's hero scratched his head in embarrassment. It is indeed being done, but the rock still remains motionless until now. Can Suanmi make the rock move? Sure. Xian. Mi nodded, are you doing repeated actions? This is the first time Ten's hero has heard this word. Repeated actions. What is that? No. Xianmi sighed, although Mr. Beiminjiao is very powerful, he is not good at teaching. If you don't peek and learn, it will be difficult for you to become a teacher. If you want to concentrate your mental energy, you need some movements to help. If it were me, I would be reciting the sutra given by Mr. Beiminjiao. Ten's hero nodded. Yanzu lamented that Yu Xingming also chanted sutras when practicing. He had noticed it. Suanmi smiled. That's right, Mr. Beiminjiao is always in trouble. This is just sitting down and doing repeated movements. Ten's hero nodded as if understanding. Xianmi continues to guide. First, use repeated actions to force your concentration, and then think about important people in your mind, which will help you concentrate faster. Try it after you have rested. Suanya stood up and pulled Ten's hero up. Taking a deep breath, Ten's hero adjusted his body to the best condition. Mr. Purgatory said, let your heart burn. Ten's hero repeated the 4 words let the heart burn repeatedly, and thoughts of his deceased family members kept popping up in his mind. The muscle mass of the lower body is much greater than that of the upper body. As long as the arms are supported, the waist and legs can be used to push. As he chanted softly in his mouth, sweat continued to drip from Tenshiro's body. Creak, creak. Hard work pays off. The boulder in front of Ten's hero began to loosen, constantly rubbing against the ground. The attention of people around was attracted. Got it Janai's eyes widened, as if he saw a monster. Inashuk's eyes also widened, but they were blocked by the pig head mask. Damn it, I lost to him. Rumble. The boulder rubs against the ground and makes a huge sound. He feels that the boulder is being pushed, but Ten's hero does not relax. The boulder will stop as soon as he relaxes a little. Hold on. I want to try it too. Inashuk heard Janya's teaching and saw that Ten's hero was having an effect, so he quickly took action. Tempura. 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 Rumble. The boulder under Inashuk's feet was also pushed. Zenitsu, what the hell? Can Inashuk push it too? Are you all working so hard? I am the only one who is lazy, which makes me feel so uncomfortable. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Inashuk, who was hiding behind a tree, heard a familiar bird call and turned to look behind him. Taroju, is this a letter for me? On the other side. Ten's hero maintained extreme concentration and pushed the rock in front of him. Finally, it was launched a full foot away. It's finally finished. It's pushed out 10 feet away. Mr. Beiminjiao's training has finally been completed. Ten's hero was lying on the ground, his whole body was weak. Not only that, the sweat was still flowing uncontrollably, and fluids were constantly coming out of his mouth. The world is spinning before my eyes. This is dehydration. Anyone, give me water quickly. Ten's hero weakly calls for help, but no one notices him. Blah blah blah. A stream of clear water poured down and flowed into Tenshiro's mouth. Thank you. Tenziro looked up and found that it was Beiming Xingming. The practice of pushing rocks is completed, coupled with the correct choice in the village. Ten's hero, you have my approval. Thank you very much, but I don't need any water. Beiminjia put away the water cup, clasped his hands together, and left. Only then did Xianmi notice Ten's hero and walked over quickly. You actually completed your training so quickly, let's go and rest. As he said that, Suanya helped Ten's hero back to the room where he was resting. Behind them, an eyeball slowly burst out of the ground. At the same time, in Infinite City, Naruto sat in front of a wall, still holding the lute in her hand. The bangs on his forehead were lifted, revealing an eye that was almost half the size of his face. This eye is deeply engraved in the pupils. Countless tentacles stretched out from behind and climbed up the wall, slowly playing the pipa. We discovered another Demon Slayer squad, and now we have 60% of the Demon Slayer squad's traces. But the ghost girl who defeated Sunshine and the current head of the family at Yabayashiki were still not found. Opposite him, Giwashiwukai crossed his legs and looked at Naru with satisfaction, the newly promoted Shangxian SI. The growth rate is very fast, exceeding my expectations, which is very good. This is my subordinate's honor. Giwashiwukan pointed lightly on the map. Next, that's it? Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 298. Later, Fang Ye was invited to join the Zuhi meeting. Boy, tell me how you turned on the markings. Fengju Immortal Kawashimai stared at Fang Ye's eyes and asked loudly. Mr. Ye, according to what Mr. Purgatory said, your state when fighting the Shangxian Sanyi nest was very close to the pattern we are pursuing. Do you have any tips? They are all powerful people. The butterfly ninja realized that Fang Ye was probably disgusted by the words of Immortal Kawasania, so he added again. The gentle tone really made Fang Ye feel a lot better. At this time, Yabayashiki his wife Tianyan walked up to the crowd. My lord, Princess Teruya, is in ill health. I am afraid that it will be difficult to appear in front of everyone from now on. Please allow me to express my sincere apology to everyone on behalf of my lord. After saying that, Tianyan knelt on the ground and fell deeply. Everyone stopped talking immediately, their eyes serious. Yanzu screamed sadly and Yu Xingming clasped his hands together, leaving 2 lines of clear tears in his eyes. I understand. I hope that my lord can try his best to extend his life, and Mrs. Tianyan should also cheer up as much as possible. Thank you, Tianyan thanks everyone. Then, the formal content of the meeting began. Amina sat in front of everyone. Although he did not have the leadership ability of Yabayashiki, he was still good. Everyone should know that in the last battle, the first demon that can resist sunlight according to the records of the Demon Slayer Corps appeared. If nothing else goes wrong, the Demon Slayer will definitely launch a general attack on us for the purpose, and the final large-scale war is about to begin. Breakout. According to the report, during the battle with Kamiguru, Mr. Tokitoru Muichiro and Miss Kenroji Mitsurai had special markings on their bodies. In addition, according to Mr. Purgatory's report, Mr. Ye seemed to have also entered the state. I have heard Mr. Tokitoru Muichiro's speech just now. Can Mr. Kenroji share the state of the pattern when it is turned on? Then, everyone looked at Ganlu Temple Mealy curiously. Nodding vigorously, Ganluyi Mealy stood in front of everyone's sight. At that time, there was just a bang, and then my whole body felt very hot, and then there was a whining in my ears. I felt that my hearing was much better, and my heart was pounding, and the gurgling came, and soon it was gone. Coming. Everyone was stunned when they heard Ganluyi Mitsurai's introduction. This is, where did the master of abstraction come from? Plop. Kenroji Mitsurai realized that what she said was very embarrassing, and she fell down. Sorry, I really want to open a hole in the ground and crawl in. Where is Mr. Ye? Tianyan also had no hope for Ganlu Temple, and turned to look at Fang Ye. Fang Ye thought deeply for a while, and realized that everyone might have regarded his state of freedom as a pattern activation. If I speak from experience, I felt that my energy had sunk at that time, and all movements slowed down in my eyes. However, it seemed to be different from everyone else's markings. I can't tell the specific difference. Good guy, another one who seems to have said it but didn't say it. After the meeting, the Demon Slayer Corps established special guidance for the team members. In anticipation of the upcoming war, everyone must be in top condition. The pillars guided the Demon Slayer team members in stages, and even Tianyan, who had retreated, joined in the guidance. Ten's hero and others also joined in the coaching, and their good physical strength made them stand out in the training. As for Fang Ye, everyone Zhu felt that Fang Ye had met Zhu's requirements, but he just needed time to complete tasks to improve the rating of the Demon Slayer team. Their training was of no use to Fang Ye except a waste of time. So Fang Ye also started to perform his own tasks. One day, Yubayashiki Amano personally summoned Fang Ye. Lord Ye, please don't complain about wasting your time. My lord has specifically asked me to entrust you with an important task. Of course not, please tell me. Fang Ye naturally didn't say much. He sat in front of Tianyan and listened carefully. Tianyan nodded and took out a letter from his arms. A long time ago, the lord noticed a ghost woman. Miss Zuyo, who also regarded Wuhan as her mortal enemy, had been fighting against Wuhan for thousands of years. Now that the war is approaching and time is running out, the Lord wants to invite Miss Tama Shii to the Demon Slayer headquarters to discuss the matter of killing without mercy. Fang Ye was slightly startled, and then said softly, "Invite the ghost, are you coming to the Demon Slayer headquarters?" If Mr. Ye thinks there is pressure, then Tianyan is talking too much. With that said, Tianyan saluted again and stood up to leave. Fang Ye waved his hand gently and said to Tianyan, "It's okay, just leave this task to me. I'm the only one who still has time right now." As Fang Ye said, the entire Demon Slayer team is now in a very alert state, and even the pillars are too busy to move away at the moment. Taking the letter from Tianyan, Fang Ye put it in his arms. "Just wait for my good news." After saying that, Fang Ye turned around and walked out of the Demon Slayer headquarters. Under the leadership of Nayashiki, Fang Ye started to speed up on the road. It didn't take long for Fang Ye to arrive at the mansion where Miss Zushi lived. It's really hidden. If it weren't for the rook, it would be difficult to find it even if I knew it existed. Fang Ye sighed softly, and with a slight push of his feet, he climbed into the wall. The window on the second floor reflected the figure of the woman under the light, and Fang Ye jumped over gently. At the same time, Miss Zushi was sitting in front of the table. He was doing research on the blood samples of 12 demons and Yaduza sent by Ten's hero. It's incredible that Medusa's blood has undergone so many changes in a short period of time. If the judgment is correct, Medusa is likely to become the first ghost in thousands of years who is not afraid of the sun. And this, Miss Zushi said, looking at the newly developed serum aside. This is the first generation developed from the blood samples of 12 ghost moons. If nothing goes wrong, it will be the most promising serum that can allow ghosts to return to humans. However, this is only the first generation, and there is no guarantee of what side effects it will have. It's better to wait until it's confirmed to be safe before sending it to Ten's hero. As he spoke, Miss Zushi took a deep breath and opened the window. Although she was a ghost, she was a little tired from maintaining a high level of concentration for a long time. At this time, he suddenly saw a figure sitting on the window. "Hello, Miss Zushi." The visitor waved gently. Good evening, but it's not safe to leave the window open, but the moonlight tonight is really nice. I haven't seen such a beautiful moon for a long time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 299. Wuhan's voice reached his ears, and the maternity room was laid on the hospital bed to identify the visitor. Sure enough, it is Mukai. Our Demon Slayer squad has been searching for thousands of years and is still looking for it, Ghost King. You finally came to me, it feels like you are right in front of me. With a sigh, Goiwushi Wupai turned to his wife beside him and said, Tianyan, can you describe his appearance to me? The white-haired witch nodded and looked carefully. He roughly looks like a man in his 20s, no different from an ordinary person, but his eyes are blood red and his pupils are slender, like a cat. Is that so, Wuxian? I have been waiting for you here for a long time, and finally, I waited for you before I died of illness. Giwashiwame stood quietly not far away and slowly said, Did you know I would come? When, of course, you must hate me deeply from the Yabayashiki family, so you will definitely come and kill me personally. Shaking his head indifferently, Giwashiwame suppressed all his murderous intent. Look at your pitiful appearance. You probably won't die soon without me taking action. There's no need for me to take action at all. In your generation, you are still so ignorant that the sky is high and the earth is high. Your people have been suffering from this kind of disaster for thousands of years. Why are you still stubborn? Ugly. Dirty. The stench of your corpse has permeated the entire yard. How many days do you have left to live? 3 days. 5 days. Listening to Oniwu's sarcastic words, Yabayashiki forced himself to hold himself up. Yes, the doctor has long said that I don't have many days to live, but I am still lingering, entirely because, I want to defeat you. The ghost dance is so miserable. Are you still dreaming about this illusory dream when you are about to die? It's time to be broken now. How many breaths do you think you can survive in my hands? Yabayashiki wiped the blood that overflowed from the corner of his mouth and said weakly. Maybe you have forgotten that we were originally the same people, although the blood flowing in your body has become far different from ours after thousands of years. What do you want to say? Wuxian smiled disdainfully. If you want to beg for mercy with ridiculous kinship, I advise you not to waste it. Yabayashiki ignored it and said weakly as before. Thousands of years ago, a monster like you appeared in the Uyashiki family, which resulted in the entire clan being punished by God. Newly born children will soon die due to frailty and illness. When the bloodline is almost cut off, we listen to the advice of the Lord God. Only by defeating you can the curse of the Yabayashiki family be lifted. We will marry wives from the Kamushi clan from generation to generation, and the lives of our descendants will not be so fragile. Absurd to the extreme. Wuxian said coldly. Now you want to blame me for your illness? But it doesn't matter, I don't care at all. But you know what? God has never punished me. For thousands of years, I have killed tens of thousands of human beings, but I still have never seen a God or a Buddha. Why do you think this is? Yabayashiki, can you answer me? Ahem, no misfortune, so that's what you think. However, I also have my own understanding. After thousands of years, do you still pursue eternity and immortality? Yes, and it's coming soon. The bandage came off, revealing Uyashiki's sickly face, his dull eyes looking in the direction of Muzan. No, your dream is destined not to come true. So confident about where Mituza is hidden? But I have plenty of time. Even if I turn the whole world upside down, I will still find it. No, you misunderstood. Yabayashiki shook his head slowly and held Tianyan's palm. The reason why people are eternal is because of thoughts. Even if I pass away, I will still live in the hearts of my friends. You are different. You can no longer be regarded as a human being. Where do you have your companions? Listening to Yabayashiki's words, Muzan felt disgusted from the bottom of his heart. Murderous aura rose, and the black robe Wufeng automatically moved. No misfortune, you obviously don't know what you have been exposed to over the past thousands of years. For thousands of years, the inheritance of the Demon Slayer core has never been interrupted. Although many poor children have died, you will still be unable to destroy the Demon Slayer core. And, in these 1,000 years, you have never been forgiven by others for what you have done, not even once, right? Do I need forgiveness from others? Muzan snorted. Yabayashiki shook his head and continued to say calmly. You don't need it, because you are the king of ghosts, and no one will forgive you. The facts prove everything. In the past thousands of years, you have stepped on the tiger's tail countless times and touched the blue dragon's reverse scale. Now, they have awakened and will keep watching you until you are knocked down. Feeling the murderous aura in the air, the obstetrician paused, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Even if you kill me, it will just be a new master to the Demon Slayer squad. I am not as important as you think, and I am even dispensable. However, you can't understand me. Because if you die, all the ghosts will disappear, right? As soon as these words came out, Giwashai Wuhan's pupils trembled violently. The air seems to be vibrating? Am I right? The ghost dance is so miserable. Shut up. Kaiwa Shimyope scolded coldly. Yabayashiki nodded, I have finished what I want to say, thank you for listening now. The twins playing in the yard came over and looked at the conversation between the two. Finished, just prepare to die. Ani Wushimyukin stretched out his sharp nails with his left hand and slowly grabbed Yabayashiki's head. Emergency call for peace. Emergency call for peace. The Yabayashiki mansion is under attack. The Yabayashiki mansion is under attack. Several crows were hovering over the mansions in each pillar. When they heard the emergency call, everyone did not hesitate and took action immediately. What? Under attack. Something happened to the Lord. Damn it, who is he? Surprised to find it here. Lord, don't let anything happen. Everyone burst out at an unprecedented speed, with their right hands firmly pressed on the hilt of the knife. Being able to sneak into Yabayashiki's mansion must be no ordinary person. The second one of the upper strings. The first one of the upper strings. Or is the ghost dance so miserable? Everyone kept moving towards the direction of Yabayashiki's mansion. Why doesn't the Lord allow 2 pillar guards to be placed at Yabayashiki residence? Fengji gritted his teeth. In his opinion, maybe this was the only wrong decision the Lord made in his life. Finally, Fengji Fusukawa Sania could gradually see the outline of the Yabayashiki mansion. I can see the mansion, my lord, if you can catch up, you will definitely catch up. The outline of the mansion gradually became clear in sight, and Fengzu still hasn't smelled the smell of blood. Maybe, the Lord is still safe? Fengju's heart rekindled hope and he moved a little faster. However, suddenly, the scene before him stopped him in his tracks. The Uyashiki mansion was suddenly enveloped in a burst of light, and then expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye. Boom! The mansion where the Lord Sanyashiki lived exploded right in front of Hashira's eyes. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 300. The terrifying high temperature soared into the sky, and the wooden house was blown to pieces. Sawdust flew, and the surrounding trees were broken by the terrifying shock wave. The burning leaves fluttered with the air waves, gradually losing their vitality. Ten's hero suddenly covered his nose and looked at the red flames in shock. Such a huge explosion, there's also the smell of burning blood and flesh, not good. Ten's hero followed closely behind Jiyu and moved forward at a high speed. At this time, a figure appeared in front of him. Ten's hero, what happened? Tenshiro's speed did not slow down, and he turned to look at the people around him. Mr. Yet. The Lord's mansion exploded. It is very likely that the Lord has already. Ten's hero couldn't bear to continue talking. Fang Ye nodded and understood instantly. He didn't expect Gui Wuxi Wu Mei to be so fast. After all, it was still a little late. No, this is the master's plan. Such terrifying gunpowder must have been prepared a long time ago. Yabayashiki, whose time is running out, wants to die together with Demon Slayer Shimu in this way, and no matter what happens, he still has to buy time for the Demon Slayer Corps. Mr. Ye, please take me with you. Miss Zushi tried her best to keep up with Fang Ye's speed and said aloud. Good. Seeing that Fang Ye agreed, Miss Zushi climbed onto Fang Ye's back. The next second, Fang Ye used all his speed and rushed over. Boom. Almost instantly, the two figures disappeared in the charcoal. In front of Shiro. In the explosion, a broken figure was shaken. However, he is regenerating at a terrifying speed. Yabayashiki, I was wrong. I shouldn't have speculated on you based on ordinary people's standards. As expected, I've been holding back for a long time. Are you going to die with your wife and children? How could he hide his murderous aura so secretly and have that divine and Buddha-like smile? Giwishiwuken gritted his teeth and shook his head vigorously. Now is not the time to think about this. Your body will recover soon. The broken body recovered quickly. Apart from some flesh injuries, most of the limbs had recovered. Suddenly, Wu Mei noticed the bloody flesh balls floating in the air. Floating meat seeds. Vampire magic. Before Giwishiwa could react, the large amount of meat seeds suddenly began to expand. The fist-sized meatball expanded into a hard thorn several meters long in an instant. Gui Wuxiwa could be stabbed instantly. They penetrate each other. This is not over yet, the flesh thorns continue to expand, actually fixing Gui Wuxi Wu Pei here. Trying to struggle, Gui Wuxi Wu Pei feels the pain like tearing. He quickly looked inside his body. Wu Pei, only then did I realize that this vampire technique was not as simple as I thought. There are also thorns like thorns growing in my body, trying to fix me like this. But Giwishiwubai is not panicking. After all, this is also a vampire technique, developed by him. As long as he is given time, he can decompose the thorns inserted into his body. Whose vampire magic is this? Why don't you have any impression at all? There are not many ghosts that escape my control. Could it be that? Kiwishiwuken was thinking about it when he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his abdomen. Pearl World? This thorn is probably the blood ghost technique you assimilated in Asakusa. If I had known earlier, I would have dealt with you two first. But Kiwishiwa took a look at his pierced abdomen. You don't think this kind of injury can kill me, do you? Jushi, you are still so naive. Of course not, Goiwushi Wupai, you have already digested my arm, don't you feel what is clenched in my fist? Before Giwishiwubai could reply, Miss Zushi continued. There is a medicine inside that can turn ghosts back into humans. How about that? It should have started to take effect. Zushi said, with a relaxed smile on his face, as if a great revenge had been avenged. Even though the terrifying Ghost King was right in front of him. How can it be? How could there be such a thing? Goiwushi Wuke doesn't believe it. The mood of the times is very different from before. The ghost dance is not miserable. I have completed the research and development of the potion. Jushi, you are such an annoying woman. You obviously ate your children and husband, but now you want to blame me. You obviously had a great time eating at that time, right? Goiwushiwu's harsh words repeatedly stung the scars in Zushi's heart. I just said that I didn't want to die of illness. If I had known that this would happen, I would not have turned into a ghost even if I had died of illness. Didn't you kill a lot of people afterwards? I remember you didn't hesitate at all. There was a smile on Guiwu's face, and he moved his left hand towards Zushi's head. Zheng. Just when Guiwu's claws were about to press on Zushi's head, the sound of a knife shocked his movements. Immediately afterwards, his left hand fell down with a sound, and it was covered with blazing fire, and instantly turned into ashes. Fang Ye stood with a knife, aiming at Guiwushi Wuhan. You really have a way of using strong words to make excuses. You are worthy of being the Ghost King who has lived for thousands of years, but isn't it a bit of a waste to spend 1,000 years practicing your words? Who are you? Guiwushi Wukiai's body continued to produce blood and flesh, and then he extinguished the flames on his shoulders. Looking at this strange and familiar man, Guiwushi Wukiai's mind suddenly appeared in the mind of Yu Wozuo and the prostitute Taro before he died. Picture. It turns out it's you, you've been ruining my plans. We finally met today. I want you to die badly. Fang Ye ignored him, shook the knife slightly, and said to Zushi. Miss Zushi, please bear with me. Following the flash of the sword, Miss Zushi's arm that was engulfed in Wuhan's body was chopped off. With Miss Zushi quickly away from the scene, Fang Ye turned back again. At this time, each pillar also rushed to the scene. Ming Minjiao, one strike will kill him. Feng Zhi shouted sharply. Behind Guiwushi Wuke, Yanzu, Wei Ming Yu Xin Ming swung the popular hammer with iron thorns, and instantly hit Guiwushi Wuke's head. There is no doubt that it is naturally a meteor hammer. Winning. Guiwushi Wukai's head was directly smashed, and the pieces were scattered everywhere like a broken watermelon. The red and white things were scattered all over the ground, and it seemed that he could not die anymore. Wei Minjiao still had a look on his face. 2 lines of clear tears flowed from the solemn, invisible eyes. Namo Ami. Xin Ming chants sutras continuously to maintain a high level of mental concentration. The Lord is indeed right. This man has already exceeded his limit. His head is no longer his Achilles heel. Even a little bit of flesh and blood can be regenerated. Xin Ming raised his head and glanced at the sky. It was still pitch black. This guy must be restrained in a spacious place until the sun comes out and the sunlight shines on him. Only then can there be any hope.